Hello, my name is Wendy Smith, and I'm delighted to share information about the Life Planning Workshop series offered by Home of Guiding Hands for individuals and families with disabilities. I facilitate the program to help families, parents, and siblings and others that are involved in their child's life to have a clearer sense of what the future may bring. Often, this is a challenge for families. The Life Planning Workshop series provide opportunities for families to consider the optimal future for their loved ones with disabilities and what steps are needed to achieve it. It can be a true challenge to find the time or space to consider what will happen to a loved one if a primary caregiver is no longer able to provide care. We can lead very busy lives. There can be a lot of distractions. There can be a lot of decisions that seem much more urgent. But the reality is that families are always considering and worried about and thinking about what's going to come in the future. Without some forethought, it can always feel like an emergency when a decision has to be made. The life planning workshops give families that opportunity to take a breath, to take a pause, and really consider, what does that optimal future look like? What does it include? What's necessary? What kinds of supports, activities, programs are essential? Right now, as a parent, I'm in charge of making sure all of that's available, but who's going to continue to do it if I'm not around? These questions can prey on the minds of both parents and siblings. The workshops provide a clear process, structure, and support from other families wrestling with the same questions. In the life planning workshops, the workshops are held virtually in small groups every other week. This is structured this way for a few reasons. The virtual meetings mean that families don't have to worry about a commute. There's no central meeting location. They don't have to consider traffic patterns. They also don't have to set up childcare. Families can participate from the comfort of their homes, from a laptop, from a phone. They're able to participate wherever they happen to be. The virtual format also allows participation from multiple family members, including siblings who may hold key roles in future plans. The meetings are recorded because when the families are participating from home, we all know that when kids know that mom's around, they don't necessarily stop and leave her alone. So we want to give them an opportunity to review the recordings, catch up on anything they may have missed. An additional benefit of having recordings of the meeting is that families can then share it with other family members. They can use it with their child with disabilities who may not be able to tolerate sitting in front of a screen for 2 to 2.5 hours, but will certainly watch a 10 to 15-minute segment about a specific discussion or activity and be able to participate and identify their preferences, their opinions, their input to what is a plan for their life. The every other week schedule of meetings means that families have time to process the concepts. We discuss some pretty deep topics, and families need time to consider, how does this apply to our situation? What are our resources? Who do I need to talk it to about the things that we're considering? If the meetings are spaced too closely, it's hard to have that processing time. Meeting every other week creates the space to absorb, consider, and respond to the new information. There's also the opportunity to build resources and connections and relationships. The meetings are always with the same individuals. Once families are in a group together, they remain in a group together. The recording is only shared with the individuals in that group, and they have a chance to find common ground, to share ideas, to reach out to each other. Often, the conversations, peer support, and new perspectives are among the most valuable aspects of the life planning workshops. Because the process is very sensitive and can be emotionally charged, group size is limited, so everyone feels seen and heard when sharing thoughts, responses, resources, and concerns. At the end of the workshop series, families are given the opportunity to consent to having their personal information shared with other members of the group so they can continue to maintain those relationships after they've been established. Each workshop lasts approximately 2.5 hours. The 5 workshops are designed to build on each other to create a cohesive vision of the optimal life and an understanding of the tools and resources needed to achieve, maintain, and protect it. Families are encouraged and expected to participate in all the workshops to achieve maximum benefit. The initial workshop focuses on current status, challenges, and emotions that impact future planning efforts. In the second workshop, we begin reframing a future based on skills and capacities. The third workshop focuses on building new connections and supports. The fourth workshop provides information about living options, what's involved, and how to evaluate choices. In the fifth and final workshop, we arrive at the legal and financial considerations that secure the desired life. Each workshop begins with an opportunity to revisit previous material, as questions may arise during the 2 weeks between sessions. Part of the workshop process is that families are given a document called a life plan or letter of intent. It's a template for them to fill out bit by bit through the workshop series. Each section of the life plan is based on a topic that we identify during the workshop. This is the homework that is assigned each session. At the end of the workshop series, families will have a completed document that allows them to do quite a few things, but the materials are entirely confidential. They're never collected, they're never sent in, they're not shared with anyone that the families do not want them to be shared with. But having that completed document really increases families' peace of mind. It gives them a place to share detailed information, the specifics of how to support an individual, certain kinds of interactions, certain kinds of self-care activities, certain kinds of decision-making processes. All of the detail necessary can be put in one location. It provides an opportunity for families to really identify what are the non-negotiables. This is something that most families may struggle to express. What exactly is non-negotiable? They have preferences, they can easily identify those, but what are the true factors that dictate which services are going to be successful versus the ones that are just going to fall apart? So identifying those non-negotiables really gives families the ability to have a criteria to evaluate all future decisions. We know that life is not static. Services are always changing. What exists today may no longer exist in 15 years. Something that's not even been dreamt of may be the best option in 10 years. So having the opportunity to say, this is what I consider most important. This is what I'm going to ask questions about. These are the things I'm going to probe before I make a decision, takes away the sense of crisis in decision making for families, which is absolutely a benefit of participating in the Life Planning Workshop series. They can have clear goals and wishes. They know the direction they're trying to travel. It lets them have better conversations with service coordinators, with providers, with siblings and other family members. The written materials can be used as a training resource for other caregivers. And essentially, just participating in clarifying the thought process means that families are having an opportunity to improve the communication with their child's team at the school, at the regional center, at an adult program, and with extended resources. Just having conversations about who's going to provide what kind of support, what's necessary, what would be helpful. The increased communication essentially makes such a difference to the peace of mind for families who participate in the Life Planning Workshop series. Some programs help families find services and resources for immediate and short-term needs. The HGH Life Planning Workshops help the whole family develop long-term goals and a flexible plan for the future. The life planning workshops are funded by Regional Center. We are vendored by San Diego Regional Center and available to families from other regional centers as well. The funding process generally requires an IPP addendum. Families are encouraged to allow time for service coordinators to create the purchase of service. With single registration, up to 4 family members are able to attend the workshop series. The life planning materials are designed to be appropriate for individuals of any age, ability, or challenge. If you wish more information about the materials and the workshops or to see the registration links, please visit our website, lifeplanninghelp.org. For frequently asked questions, please follow the link to our agency website, guidinghands.org. We do also accept private pay and self-determination funding for the workshop series. Thank you for allowing me time to share a brief overview of the Life Planning Workshop series. I hope to see you in a future group.